In this video, I'm going to give you a rundown of the wireless camera rigs that we use on our stage on Sunday mornings. The whole rig costs about $2,500 if you get the camera and the lens used, which you should. And it would be about half of that if you don't want them to be wireless. Honestly, I'm always tweaking things, so who knows how long they'll stay like this, but they've changed a lot since the belt packs I showed you in a previous video, so I figured I'd give you all a look. Without further ado, here it is. Everything on this rig revolves around the Panasonic Lumix G85. I've been using these cameras for about 3.5 years now, and they've been rock solid for us. They're pretty dang cheap, but still get the job done image-wise. They have a micro four thirds sensor, which you could see as a pro or a con depending on how you look at it, but we get around the small lens selection by using this Viltrox lens adapter in order to use EF style lenses. Specifically on these stage cams, we use Sigma's 18 to 35mm lenses. This lens is fantastic, for real, and you can usually find them around $500. Speaking of, I'll have links to all of these items down in the description in case you want to build out a similar rig for yourself. Finishing up the actual camera, we've got a variable ND filter on the front of the lens here. These cameras cover a lot of ground on the stage, and our lights are definitely not even from the front row all the way to the back. So having these is honestly a necessity, allowing us to quickly change our exposure depending on the shot we're getting. And because our lens caps won't fit over the filter, we've got these little silicone dealies that stretch over the front of the lens to protect everything. So that's the camera itself. Next up is the cage we're actually using for them, which is this pretty basic one from Cambait. There aren't really good form-fitting options for the G85, but this cage will fit most DSLRs. It's a little bulky, but for our purposes, it really gets the job done. It also comes with this side handle, but I don't feel like it attaches all that well, so we don't use it. The cage attaches to the bottom quarter 20 and then up top to the hot shoe mount and stays pretty secure. Now that we've got the cage on it, we'll add the top handle, which is this little guy right here from Small Rig. It attaches via a NATO rail and has a pretty good feel in the hand. It's also got this great mounting point for the Small Rig monitor mount here on the front, which we attach our Field World monitor to. I like that this mount keeps the monitor pretty low. I can't stand when cameras start to get really tall and just stacking up. It's also able to articulate in whatever direction you need, and it stays super secure with these RE locator pins. To round all of this off, I attached one of my homemade tally lights to the back of the monitor using some Velcro. Look, it doesn't all have to be official camera mounting methods. If you want to see how these work and how to make some yourself, check out the video I made on it. Alright, so now this is a pretty good looking camera, but we're still missing a couple of things. I said it was wireless, so we still need the transmitter, as well as some way to actually power all of this stuff. So I picked up this base plate from Small Rig and a couple of short rails to attach to it. And finally, we've got this V-mount battery plate. These all attach here to the bottom of the rig. The battery plate gives a lot of power options, including a couple of USB ports on this side and some DC jacks of varying voltage and a D-tap on this side. Then you just pick up a V-mount battery like this guy and lock it in place. And finally, the wireless aspect of things, which is a fairly new development for us. We've been using the Teradek Ace 500, which at $1,000 is about the cheapest wireless video solution I've found that actually works. I attached the transmitter to the back of the battery plate here using some VHB tape. Again, you don't always need real mounting methods if things are never going to move. This will obviously decrease your signal range a bit due to line of sight and some constraints, but we keep the receivers within about 25 feet, so it hasn't been an issue for us at all. After all this, you just wire everything up, use some cable ties, and you're off to the races. You flip 2 power switches, one for the plate, one for the camera, and everything just comes on and is ready to go. At 8 pounds, these cameras aren't the lightest thing around, but the top handle really helps with that, letting gravity take most of the brunt. And the ease of use is so worth it. Everything is accessible, you don't need to manage a ton of different batteries, and it's really just grab and go. Like I said before, I'm always tweaking things, so these are still probably not the final form of these cameras, but I'll let y'all know if I find anything I like more than this. And you let me know down in the comments if you have any suggestions or things you're doing differently on your camera rigs. I love hearing from y'all and growing from each other. Until next time.